Escaping from a snooker is usually about a lot more than just making contact with the object ball, which makes it difficult to say what the greatest snooker escape of all time is.
Well, actually it's not. The best ever snooker escape was obviously this shot from Jimmy White. But I can't even get close to that.
So this is the greatest snooker escapes that I have a chance of recreating, even if some of them seem impossible. We're going to be nearly using the usual format here, but not quite.
If you've seen these videos before, then you'll know that normally I'm trying to recreate these shots as accurately as possible in as fewer attempts as I can, so I can see how difficult they are to play. But this time it's going to be a tiny bit different.
There are 3 snookers on this list that were so difficult that the players didn't actually manage to escape.
So on just a few shots I'm going to be correcting mistakes that others have made in the past, which isn't necessarily going to be easy.
And we're going to start with the snooker from the Wilson-McGill semi-final.
The miss rule can be incredibly tough. Sometimes all you really want to do is hit the ball, but you end up just watching the points run away from you.
Anthony McGill lost over 30 points on this one shot, and even though he got really close to hitting it at times, his failure to do so was what ultimately cost him a place in the 2020 final. Surprisingly, however, this shot isn't too difficult. The brown is very slightly in the way, meaning you have to play the cue ball with a trace of the left-hand side. I think to start off with, Anthony was so worried about knocking the black in with the red or pushing the red onto the opposite corner that he was trying to land on it absolutely dead weight. Then the pressure just got to him in the last few shots because this wasn't too difficult.
When you're trying to escape from snookers, you're usually thinking about using the cushions, but here Stephen Maguire cleverly uses the jaws as well.
Stephen had to be very accurate to get the cue ball past the pink, but it seems like if you just catch the jaws in any way from this angle, you should naturally strike the green. Bridging over the pink like this, I could see the main problem was going to be striking the cue ball the right amount aside, and on my second shot I thought I'd made contact with the pink. But after looking at the camera I could see I just scraped past it by a fraction and was able to complete a successful shot.
It's interesting, even people who really don't like Mark Selby will still tell you he's one of the best tactical players in the game.
Anybody who saw Mark's escape against Ronnie in the 2020 World Semi-Final will find this shot familiar.
Look at old Sat now, there gets one back.
To start off with, sorry about the picture here. The cold weather made my camera lens get damp and I didn't notice until it was too late. This shot's played with left hand side and I need to strike the yellow full to leave the cue ball at this end of the table. I've included this one rather than the one from the Ronnie match, not necessarily because this is any better, but because I haven't played this particular shot before. And I just about got the snooker here.
Sometimes I don't think we give Shaun Murphy enough credit for some of the shots he comes up with.
Once again, it's Mark Selby putting somebody in trouble, but Shaun comes up with an answer. For professional snooker players these days, getting the cue ball to flick off a red and return to bulk is a fairly standard shot. The only difference is Shaun had to use check side, which makes it incredibly difficult to strike the red at all off 2 cushions, let alone catch it thin. The harder you hit it, the more it straightens up, which means you have to get line and pace exactly right here, and I think it's a lot harder shot than I thought it was going to be. And I think it's particularly unlikely that I'd be able to pull something like this off first time.
Ronnie may not rate the younger players in the game right now, but I don't think there's anyone around who can escape from snookers right now, like Saengkham.
I actually believe this is a better shot than his 5-cushion escape from the World Championships this year.
Well, looks pretty good from here. Looks very, very good from here. What a shot.
He starts off incredibly close to the top cushion, and even if he hits it just a fraction hard, he's going to leave John Higgins on. I was expecting this to take several attempts.
Pleased with that.
After getting the previous shot in just one attempt, I decided to give this one a go because after being snookered by Luca Brissell here, Gary Wilson manages to roll up dead weight to the red on his first attempt at the shot. So for just this one escape, we're going to see how well I can do with just one attempt. I managed to hit the red and nearly leave it completely safe. If you found the previous shots too easy, then after we find Tommy from Kildare Island, we're going to move into the realm of the impossible.
It doesn't matter how good you are at the game, sometimes you just end up in a position that seems impossible.
And after being snookered by Ricky Walden tight to the brown, incredibly close to the bolt cushion, Mark Selby found himself in one of those positions. And after several attempts, it became one of those situations where the referee didn't call a miss. But is it possible to hit this shot? Well, I started off trying to play the shot that Mark attempted, but I didn't even manage to get the cue ball as close as he did. And after just a couple of attempts, I completely gave up on that and tried something different, going between the blue and the pink. But that didn't quite come off either, so I tried round the other way on the table. I'm pretty confident Mark could have played this shot, and I managed to just about get past the pink and the middle jaw and land in the reds. Maybe the tables are a little bit different, but I think he definitely could have played this shot. And after being snookered by Kyron Wilson on this shot, Mike Dunn also ended up in a snooker that seemed impossible to hit. But John Parrott on commentary came up with a possible solution.
It's to screw the cue ball into the cushion hard with check side and bend the cue ball back into the balk area and come back off the balk cushion.
Between the pink and black?
No.
Around the black?
Around the black.
So off the bottom cushion, around the black,
yeah,
it swerves around the black
and come back, yeah.
And comes back.
That's the only way I can see him getting out of it.
What's in the water where you live?
It's the only shot I can see.
So I decided to find out if John Parrott was actually right and this shot was on, and after my first attempt I thought I had a pretty decent chance. Then less so after 2 rubbish attempts, but then I decided to try and get as close as I can to the black and ended up hitting the red. So it was actually possible to escape from this snooker.
This is the very shot that won Ronnie O'Sullivan his tight semi-final match with Mark Selby, and I know a lot of you were surprised it wasn't in the Shot of the Championships video. So let's have a go at this.
This was a thrilling few shots as Mark Selby escaped from a snooker to leave Ronnie in this position, and then Ronnie escaped from the snooker and snookered Mark back. We've already looked at Mark's escape in our Shot of the World Championships video, but I know a lot of you wanted me to try Ronnie's and wondered why that wasn't actually on the list, because this shot seemed a little bit harder. And I can confirm that even though there's a lot more left to chance when it comes to getting a snooker back here, this is definitely a harder shot. You need to use a small amount of right hand side and get exactly the right contact on the left hand side of the red to get the red on the side cushion and the cue ball back down this end of the table. This could have taken me a lot more shots.
That was an incredibly difficult shot, but now we're going to ramp up the difficulty even more with this textbook snooker escape from Barry Hawkins.
After again being left an incredibly difficult shot by Mark Selby, Barry manages to spin the cue ball round 5 cushions, dropping on the red in a position that doesn't leave any pot on. Judging any part of this shot correctly is a challenge, and to start off with I found myself striking too close to the pocket. After I corrected this, the shot did become a little bit easier and I could see where I wanted the cue ball to go. It was just all about finding the correct line. Needless to say, I would have left my opponent in prime position several times before I actually managed to hit this shot. I was surprised by this because before I tried it I didn't think it was going to be this difficult, but it was simply the amount of cushions you had to judge the correct pace of and get the angle right that made it such a difficult shot to play. In the end I was just really pleased to get it as quickly as I actually did, because I could have been here for almost 20 shots trying to get this right.
When you're trying to escape from a snooker, usually you're just trying to hit the object ball. It's very rare it ends up in a position where you've got a decent chance of potting it.
This, however, wasn't one of those situations. Once again, Mark Selby had Ronnie O'Sullivan in a lot of trouble in the Northern Ireland Open, and it looked like this snooker was going to win him the match, until Ronnie managed to spin the cue ball round 3 cushions and pot the red. Even though potting the red was a complete fluke, this was something I definitely wanted to try, because it caused such a dramatic swing in the outcome of the match. But even hitting the red wasn't proving easy, and when I knocked it to the corner here, I wondered if potting it in the wrong pocket really mattered, but it didn't end up dropping. Which left me realising in a lot of ways this is probably one of the hardest shots I'd ever attempted, and it might even take me over 100 attempts to get it right. All I really could do is just try and get the right amount of left hand side on the ball to try and hit it as many times as possible.
Come on! That is... I thought I was going to be all day with that. I had literally sectioned off the whole part of my day to just play that shot.
Mark, however, was nowhere near as happy about the red dropping in, as it cost him what seemed like a guaranteed win against Ronnie. Can it get any more difficult? Well, after we find Hassan from Gurjamwala, Pakistan, we're going to find out it possibly can.
Now that truly was a remarkable stroke of fortune, but at least Ronnie was looking at where the cue ball was actually going on that shot.
He might not even look at the cue ball when he hits this. There you go. No.
So my plan was simple, stare at the green and pot it, but there was a problem.
Oh God, you can't look round. Oh, okay, I can't twist my neck that far.
Being right-handed from this position, there was no way I could twist my neck round and look at the green, and if I attempted it left-handed, then I was probably never even going to hit the green, let alone pot it. But as it turned out, these were the least of my worries. I was only hitting about 1 in 10 shots, making it even harder than Ronnie's earlier. But then, on shot 9 again...
Oh!
It was close, but not close enough, so I had to keep trying. And the odd 1 or 2 attempts later, I still hadn't managed to get any closer to potting the green. Then my camera ran out of battery. And well over an hour later, I'd also run out of space on my memory card. I have no idea by this stage how many attempts I'd had at playing this shot and potting the green. I'd gotten really lucky with the Ronnie shot, but had to face facts that this was just one of those shots that wasn't meant to be.
Yes! Oh my God, that took so long. Yes! So there we go. I'm sure there's hundreds of other great snooker escapes I could have included, but these were just the ones I thought about and seemed significant at the time.
For me, the most difficult shots to play were third Barry Hawkins. Judging the weight and line around 5 cushions was incredibly difficult to get right. And second, this shot from Ronnie, and it's maybe just because I got so lucky with the one he potted that this shot actually seems more difficult to play. And first, obviously, this shot from Mark Williams. It may have just been a fluke, but the way in which it was played makes it one of the most iconic snooker escapes of all time.
But which one was your favourite? If you hit the link in the description, it'll take you to a poll where you can vote for any one of those 12 shots, or suggest another shot to me that you think was actually better.
I'm sure there are a lot more, but unlike other shots, they're not brilliantly documented. So if you want to see me recreating other shots, have a look at these 2 videos. And remember, don't just watch, play. And make the commitment to becoming a better player by subscribing to the channel and visit the website. See you later.